Collaborationists worldwide. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shalom. 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 Shabbat 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 Shalom. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shalom. Somebody's coming. I think it's the Shabbos bride. Oh no, wait, that was last night. She's still here. She came last night. The Shabbos bride came last night and she stayed.
Shabbat Shalom.
We'll have to get a piece of music. Where'd you put those sheets? Oh, here they are.
Okay. Well, we just did the family service, and I did that family service probably for 30 years, and then stopped doing it for a while to make room for Randy and then make room for Daniel and Karen. But that was really fun, wasn't it?
Why? What was fun about it?
It was really fun. I just wish we
fun?
could have seen the faces of the children that were out there. That's okay. What makes it fun.
All I could see was our own faces.
I know.
That was a little weird
was
because there's one, I see our own faces, but I see the messages from people who are watching. So it's a little strange, a little odd. Because who cares to look at your own face? Man? But hold on a second. Look, the screen has changed, and now I'm looking into the tents of the people who are watching. Oh, I can see into the tents. Wait a second. I see some goodness in there. Oh, I see some goodness inside those tents. I'm going to make a prayer on it. Shabbos bride, would you bring me a glass of water? Ma tovu olecha Yaakov mishkenetecha Yisrael Ma tovu olecha Yaakov mishkenetecha Yisrael. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, Geschrei und Gewalt und Gepiel der Vater in Wald. Du suche seine Kinder. Diggy, 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 die, diggy, die, die. Diggy, 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 die, diggy, diggy, die. Ba, 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 ba. Lily, 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 lie. Always 3 times.
That's the story of Matov. Tell it so well about that melody.
It's from an old folk song, a couple hundred years old, folk song, that's called Kol Bayar, a voice in the forest. Goodbye, Susie. This is going to take a long time, this story, so take your time. A long time.
It's a good story.
A good story. Bayar, a voice in the forest, and it's a story, a dialogue between parent and the son, and the kids. Their parent and their father and sons, or mothers and daughters, I don't know. Parents and children. And they're looking for each other in the story. The song is passed down in Hebrew and Yiddish and Ukrainian, I think. And anyway, so I know it in Yiddish and in Hebrew. And then the story is their dialogue. They're looking for each other. You know, it's a mystical story. They're searching for each other in the forest. And the parent keeps looking for the kids and say, "Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?" And the kids respond, "I'm here. Where are you? I'm here. I'm here." And the kids have all the great lines in the song. They say, "Listen, if you didn't want to lose us, why'd you send us into the forest? And if you didn't want to be found, why did you push us out in here? Why do you make it so difficult?" The kids say to the parent, "Why do you make it so difficult for us to find you?" So that's how the song ends, with this implication that, yeah, we're looking for God, we're looking for holiness, we're looking for connection, we're looking for the sacred, we're looking for it. Why do you make it so difficult? Why all the illusion and the separation? And that's the last part of the song. Why do you make it so difficult? It's an interesting song. I'll sing a little Hebrew. Kol bayar anochi shomea, the voice of the forest I hear. Av labanim, father calling for the children. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la. Ah, she's back to Shabbat's bride. La 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 la. La 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 la. And because it's a mystical song, you always sing the chorus 3 times. Always. Each time it settles in deeper within you when you sing it 3 times. It settles deeper inside each time. Kinder, was bin gewesen. Schon vergessen, la 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 la, la 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 la. Each time a little deeper. I la la, I la 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 la, I la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. I la la, I la 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 la. You'll notice that when you sing it, deeper does not always mean louder. I la 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 la, la la la, and not faster. La la, la 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 la, la 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 la. If my lips could sing like the waves, and my mouth express like the sun and the moon, my arms stretch forth like the eagles of heaven, and my feet swift as deer. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Ooh, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 bekocho, hallelujah, berkiauso, hallelujah, bigavurota, hallelujah, gerokulo, hallelujah.
Always something to praise.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Yeah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, but take a shofar. Hallelujah, believe it, he know. Hallelujah, tofu machu. Hallelujah, meaning the God. Praise God with the blast of the shofar, with the harp. Praise God with the oud. We got a mistranslation. Yeah, it should be oud. Praise God with the drums and the dance. Oh yeah, praise God with the oud and the pipe. Oh, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Yeah, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, b'tzitzele shama. Hallelujah, b'tzitzele teruah kol anshama. Hallelujah, let everything that breathes thank and praise God. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Yikadash meraba, ve'almadi rachirute ve'alichmachate, ve'ayechon uvyonachon, uvayedachol ve'Yisrael,
Bagala, bagala,
uvizman kariv,
v'imaru amen, yesh meraba mevorach, me'alamura me'amaya, yitbarach,
Yitbarach ve'yishtabach,
v'yibar v'yidroman v'yidnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalam.
Shemeda Kudashah,
Barichu leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'yama v'imeru amen.
Call each other to prayer with the words of the Baruch Hu.
Baruchu et Adonai Mavorach. Baruch Adonai Mevorach, Mevorach Le'olam.
celebrate the morning light, the light of the sun and the moon and the stars. But we also know that there is a greater light, that Zohar, that first light, the light of God. And that is what we call Torah. Torah is the light of God. It comes out of pure love.
חררנו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במשפטיך, והחיל אלינו, באהבה וליראת שמך, וחררנו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחיל לבבינו, באהבה וליראת שמך.
That demand Shema, demand the holy listening, finding our silence so that we can listen before we speak, before we respond, finding a way to listen so that when we do respond, it is in the holiest of ways. It isn't out of fear, it isn't out of anxiety. It is out of love and compassion and wisdom, out of being as smart as we can be, knowing that we are all connected, even in isolation we are connected, and everything that we do affects and influences each other.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך וקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, ואני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Emet. 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 You know, there's in the Ve'ahavta, it talks about putting the sign on the doorpost of your house. And there's a debate in the Talmud that asks, does a synagogue that has the Talmud, the Torah in it, need a mezuzah? And I don't know where they ended up on that.
Well, they had mezuzahs, and there's all kinds of interesting things about mezuzahs in Talmud. Like there was one of the rabbis that had a walking stick, and he had a mezuzah inside the walking stick. So yeah, you put it on.
Well, when we decided to put up mezuzot in our home, from the Rebbe, actually, when the Rebbe was still alive, the Chabad Rebbe, Rabbi Schneerson, it turned out we had 36 openings in our home to put mezuzot. So we thought that was kind of auspicious, the number 36, double chai, and we did. We put up 36 mezuzahs. I'm looking at one of them now, all through the home to keep us safe. So our synagogue does have a mezuzah. It was a mezuzah that was made by Amy Fleischer's father, of blessed memory. He died, just this past year. He made a beautiful plexiglass mezuzah that we put on the front.
Seems like you can't have too much Torah on your doorpost.
That's where I would come.
Don't you think?
That's where I would come. Of course, before the mezuzahs, we had to get out of that stuck place before we had the homes. Before we had the places. We did.
I'm thinking of putting them right like this.
That would be good on your third eye.
I think so.
But there's this moment, I think, in Torah, that in the book of Exodus, right before that teaching from Deuteronomy, that where we leave Egypt and we're in the sea, and I always imagine that kind of we're singing, we're still there, we're still in the breach. We're singing the lands together, we're in that sea on our way. We've left this narrow place, but we're not yet where we need to go.
The narrows.
The narrows, right.
Now we're in the squeeze.
Yeah.
Then we were in the narrows.
Right, but we're still there.
We're in the squeeze now,
right.
That's for sure.
We are. So it's important in every service, which we are commanded to do really. Every service, sing the same words that Moses and Miriam and all of the people of Israel sang at the shores of the sea in anticipation of where we need to be going.
Yeah. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mikamocha nedar ba'kodesh, norati lo tosef eleh שירה חדשה, שיבחו גילים לשמחה שפת הים, יחד, 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 יחד כולם, כולם הודו, וימליכו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. ועד צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל ופדי חינומך, יהודה וישראל גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. O Rock of Israel, come to Israel's help. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael, redeem us. And Miriam, Neviah, the prophetess. She took a drum in her hand and we followed her with drums and dancing. And Miriam chatted with us. Shiru le'Adonai ki ga'oga. Shiru le'Adonai ki ga'oga. Shiru le'Adonai ki ga'oga. Shiru le'Adonai ki ga'oga. Sus v'rochu rama v'yam. Adonai sefatai tiftach. Adonai sefatai tiftach. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Open my lips, my mouth may speak poetry. Open my lips so that my mouth may speak poetry. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, v'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Haservot v'Imahot, u'Mevii Geula livnei v'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magin. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav le'hoshia. Mechakel chayim b'chesed, Mechayei hakol v'rachamim rabim. Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, u'matir asurim, u'mekayem emunato l'shenei afar. Michamocha ba'al givorot, u'midom elach, melech menit u'mechayeh, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. We fill the spaces between us with kedusha, with holiness.
What you get?
Okay. This wonderful prayer in the tefillah challenges us to take everything that is ordinary and raise it up and dare to make it whole.
נקדיש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו, בשמי מרום ככתוב על יד נביאך, וכרז אל זה ויאמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך אור הארץ כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ. Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkomo Ta'uleinu Uavinu Makeinu Moshienu Ve'uyashmienu Berachamav Le'nei Kol Chai Ani Adonai Elohechem Yimloch Adonai Le'olam Elohayim Tzion Ledor Vador Hallelujah Ledor Vador Nagir Golecha Ulenetzach Netzachim Kedushacha Nakdish V'shivchecha Eloheinu Mipinu lo yamush le'olam havayim Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. The children of Israel shall keep the Shabbos, observing it in every generation as a covenant for all time. It is a sign. It is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days, in 6 days God made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day, Shabbat Vayinafash. Shabbat, God rested, Vayinafash, and breathed the soul into creation. Breathe the soul into creation. God breathed the soul into creation. Vayinafash. Vayinafash. Ado kilo chalu racha rachamecha vehamirachim. The one who does good, don't remove that chesed. Don't remove that goodness. Hamirachem. Oh, the one who gives out mercy, dispenses mercy. Don't pass. We need your chesed. We need your kindness now. Gil hatokilu chalu racha racha mecha vehamirachem hatokilu chalu Ki lo tamu, ki lo tamu, ki lo tamu chasadecha meolam kivinu lach. Meolam kivinu lach. Meolam kivinu lach. Sim shalom tova uvaracha. Make peace, goodness and blessing. Chesed v'rachamim, kindness and mercy, compassion v'rachamim. Aleinu, for us, for everyone. Aleinu v'yakol amu. Baruch atah Adonai, maker of peace, Oseh HaShalom. Sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Mercy, oh mercy, oh mercy, kindness and compassion. Oh mercy, kindness, compassion. Let them never become cliches. Let them never become cliches. Chen v'chesed. Let us write them on the palms of our hands. Kindness and mercy and compassion. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim, v'rachamim, v'rachamim.
Amen. If we were in the synagogue together, we would take a few moments of reflection, a few moments of silence. We're reading in the chat that we don't see subtitles, but I did send a message to our technical person, and I think she says that the subtitles actually come from people that are watching. So there must be some kind of a setting.
They come from outer space.
I think they come from the aliens.
They come from outer space.
But we're not seeing them, so we don't have it turned on. But I love what Lisa said, that last night Eloheinu came out as Hello Mommy. That's kind of wonderful. So, but I think that I'm not sure how those subtitles get turned on, but they certainly aren't correct, and mostly when we have seen them, they don't really follow the service at all. So
we embrace them, however we do embrace them.
We don't see them. So there may be a setting that someone has that is
all the
turned
mistakes
on.
are ours. We love them.
Yes, we do. So now we turn to a little bit of Torah, and of course this week's Torah portion is wonderful. It's filled with challenge, and there was a plague going on. It was all about this terrible plague that the people needed to stop. And some say it was a spiritual plague. It was a plague because there was immorality going on. Other commentators say that the plague was because people were crossing boundaries and not respecting boundaries, both figuratively and literally. And so there are many comments on what the plague was and how it was caused. But they were stuck with this plague, and it was killing everyone, and it was terrible. And so this one guy, Pinchas, he becomes a zealot for God and takes stopping the plague into his own hands. And that's where the portion begins. So you're going to read a little bit of Torah?
Oh, where is it? You want me to write it? Of course I will.
It was kind of fun telling the story to the children's service.
Well, I thought this was the children's.
No, this is not the children's.
Which
one? The
Arts World, the big one. Gee, I'm sorry. I thought this was the children's service.
No.
I must start speaking like an adult.
Look at that. So, Pinchas, so we are moving our way through the book Numbers.
Pinchas.
And last week, last week was the bar mitzvah. Hmm?
Is it last? No.
Korach? No.
It's called
2 weeks. I mean, Ray.
Oh, Ray. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Ray read Korach. And, Korach is this...
that was a great bar mitzvah.
Yeah. For Ray's 90th birthday, he read the Torah. It was amazing. His Torah reading was beautiful. But also he gave this wonderful teaching on Korah and motivation, doing the right thing. It was really quite beautiful. And, from Korah, we also learn you can say the right thing and but if your motivation isn't pure, it's not going to help the cause of peace and justice. So let's learn from Pinchas.
Okay.
So the blessings together. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Borach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Borach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Asher bachar
Banu
banu
mikol
mikol
ha'amim.
v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten Torah.
V'yedaber Adonai el Moshe Lemor. God spoke to Moses, saying, Pinchas. Oh, look. Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen Eshiv et Chamati me'al bnei Israel v'chano et kinati b'tocham v'lo chiliti et bnei Israel v'kinati. God spoke to Moses, saying, Pinchas, son of Eliezer, son of Aaron the Kohen, turn off my anger from the children of Israel when you avenged me among them, for I did not take vengeance on the children of Israel. Therefore say, Hineni noten lo Behold, I give my covenant of priti shalom, my covenant of peace. V'hayita lo lezaro achara brit kunat olam. And therefore I will give this covenant. It shall be after all of those come after him. It will be an eternal covenant of eternal priesthood. Olam tachat asher kinei leloha, because he turned off vengeance because of God. V'yechaper al bnei Yisrael, and made atonement for the children of Israel. The Shem Ish Yisrael, and the name of the children of Israel, and the person in Israel, Hamukeh, who was slain, Asher, Huka et HaMidianit, with the Midianite, Zimri ben Salu Nasi ben Abba Shimoni, the head of the house of Midian. The Shem Haisha Mukah, and the woman who was struck Midianite, her name was Kozbi Bal Tzur Rosh Umot Beitav. The Midian, who she was the head of the father's house in Midian. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natah. Baruch atah Adonai.
Noten HaTorah.
Look, there's so many scribal irregularities here. Pinchas
is a chaser, right?
The second verse, no, he has his yud written small.
Right.
His yud is a small little yud in his name.
In
so there's something
missing in
diminished. Pinchas, there's something missing in you.
Something missing.
We need you, but we need you whole.
Right.
Ben Eliezer, look, he's the son of Eliezer, the son of Aaron, so HaKohen. So he's in the line of the priesthood already. So what is he really getting here? Is he getting a reward here? He's already a priest.
Right.
Yeshiva Kamati. So what did he do really? And the Briti Shalom, the covenant of peace. Oh, so he's given him this covenant of peace, but there's something wrong with that too, because in the Shalom, as Susie mentioned, the Vav, she is broken. Mm-hmm. The Vav is broken. It's a very bad sign when the Vav is broken. Ketiyah. I call Ketiyah, means the Vav is broken. Broken Ketiyah. Sometimes I feel broken. Ketiyah, I call on me, but I'm not broken. But, we need to, there's no shame in the need to be whole, in the hunger to be whole. There's no shame in it. So God says, I'll give him his offspring after a kahunat olam. He has a priesthood forever. He didn't already have that? Seems like he already had that. So what is the gift here? I don't know. The gift is Pinchas got to do his work, his inner work. Something missing in Pinchas. You can do the work of the community. You can do the work of the holiness. You can do the work of the sacred. You can do the mystery work of the repair. But you got to do the personal work. There's something missing in you, Pinchas, and maybe you let things loose too much here because there's something inside that didn't happen right for you. You got to do your inside work. That's how I'm looking at it.
So if Pinchas is going to, if Pinchas, really wants to solve the problem of the plague and stop the plague stops, by the way.
Yeah, it stops. And then the next thing they do is they count. We're not living with that.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention to the elementals. The elementals will teach you. The data.
The science, the data.
Count them.
Count.
Pay attention.
Right. And so that's really what happens. But, Pinchas uses his sword. He uses his sword, and for that the Vav is broken.
Broken.
Yeah. His methods aren't right. And so...
Show me that Vav you found in the storehouse palace earth. Didn't you find that?
I did. No, well, I wanted a visual to show to the children this morning. So
she found this in the storehouse palace earth.
So I showed them the Vav, this wonderful Vav that is the
I'm
Vav
suspicious
Chibur.
Did you make that Vav?
I might have made it.
Oh.
Anyway, the idea of the Vav is that it's that and, it means and, it's the connector.
Because look, it's a straight up and down letter.
So
it connects the heavens and the earth.
Right, the upper and
We
the
call
lower
it the
worlds.
Or Yashar, the direct light. It's right there.
It's the Vav. Vav is such a holy letter.
In all of its conjunctiveness.
And then, in the way that it's written in the Torah, in this portion, is it is broken. It really is broken, the way that it looks.
Those are profound pictures, Susan.
Well, I had to do it quickly. Our grandchildren slept over last night, so I didn't have much time.
Those are good pictures. I thought maybe they did it.
Yeah, it looks like Karen did it. It does. But, it's an important metaphor, I think. And, I think that...
And every Torah text has that broken vav.
Vav.
These scribal irregularities are something to pay attention to. They're so interesting. And there's so many of them in this little section.
Yeah.
Pinchas, his name, that diminished yud, the tiny little yud in his name.
Because, Torah itself is it's shorthand, right? Torah is shorthand. That's why we depend on commentary. And so part of the shorthand of Torah are these irregularities, like the diminished yud.
They're clues.
Right, in
Big
the name of Pinchas, and this broken vav. But before the portion is over, and the other thing to know is that portions are divided arbitrary. It's not so arbitrary the way they're divided, right?
Right.
I mean, but they're not. It doesn't make sense, really.
Sometimes
it's not like three chapters or 4 chapters. But there seems to be a real sense of how this portion is divided.
This one has a symmetry.
It does. It begins with this violent sword-wielding leader who is, a zealot for God, is so full of passion, he takes everything into his own hands. And he hurts the very thing that he is trying to accomplish, the vav, the wholeness. Can't happen this way. But at the very end of the portion, is this story of the Banot Zlofchad, these 5 daughters of Zlofchad, another one of the chieftains, who would normally have inherited a portion in the land, but he died and he left no sons. And so when Moses is giving out the lands the portions of the land at the very end of this portion, and the Benots that come up again in the next portion, but here we get the hint of them, that Moses skips over them. He skips over the daughters, these 5 daughters, whose names we know, and we don't usually know the names of a lot of women, right? These women that don't come up very much. The Banot Zlofchad, it would have been enough to call them the 5 daughters of Zlofchad, but we know their 5 names. And so I think that really the symmetry in the difference between Pinchas and what these 5 daughters do. When Moses skips over them, you all probably know the story, they don't take to the sword. They don't talk behind his back. They don't make a mutiny like Korach did. They get together, these 5 sisters, and they talk about what's happened. And they decide to go together in love, in kindness, and say, Moses, just because our father had no son, you wouldn't give us his portion. Doesn't seem right.
It's not right.
Right. It's perfect symmetry. And Moses is speechless. Moses doesn't know what to do. So in the portion, Moses goes to God and says, what do I do?
He goes to the ultimate authority.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And God answers. God says, give them their due.
It's not right.
Right. Do the right thing here, Moses. And this is revolutionary. This is transformational.
It's evolutionary and revolutionary.
Systemic change.
Yeah.
The daughters teach us about systemic change. They are the guide. And it's so interesting that we're dealing with these 2 viruses right now, the virus of the pandemic of COVID-19 and the virus of racism. And we have both of them in this portion. We have this plague that everyone is trying to stop. And we also get this systemic change. And we wonder if somehow
we have a third virus too.
What's the third virus?
Bad leadership.
Well, yeah, real terrible leadership. And we have that, and they had that. Actually, they had Moses, who was a good leader, right? But not Pinchas, and Moses. Not Korach.
I'm voting for Moses.
This is about how I vote for the 5 daughters of Zelophehad, because look what they did. I mean, they really showed us that good leadership takes using your words, not doing it alone, and also being patient, because they realized that what they were asking for was not just for them. They didn't just, like Korach, was kind of looking for power for himself. That's why the earth swallowed him up. They knew better. They were asking for systemic change. They didn't want anybody left out. And so they really, and this is what actually happens, that because they challenge the inability of, or the, Moses is not even thinking that that women could inherit. It takes generations, but eventually, the system will change. And I think that's another one of the great teachings in this portion, is that we have to be patient. We have to work at this every day, and we have to be patient, and we have to realize that if we do things with the sword, if we do violently, it won't be a change that will last. It will be for that moment. It will be for that small group. But if we really want a paradigm shift that includes everybody, and I think that's what the Benot Zelophehad were trying to do.
Zelophehad.
Yeah, right?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is what the daughters were trying to do. Not just change things for themselves. They were going to change for everyone who had been marginalized. Everyone who was being left out.
I think it's beautiful that you mentioned that their names, we have their names.
Let's hear their names.
Machla. Noah. With an ayin.
A lot of Noahs, right.
Chogla. Milka. Tirza. It's nice. And look, there's another scribal irregularity too that's interesting in here, that when they make their claim before Moses, Moses takes their claim to God, V'yakred Moshe, and Moses comes close and he brings their mishpat, their claim, their righteous, their claim, mishpatan. The nun is writ large. It's a nun body. Look at that.
Yeah, it's not just about them.
Before God.
It's for everybody.
Yeah, it's another scribal irregularity, right? A clue.
That's how you respond to injustice.
It's big. It's large.
Amen.
Can't ignore it.
Can't. So that's our little bit of Torah for today.
That was good, Susie.
All right, that was good, Jimmy. Thank you. So our hearts open by a little bit of Torah.
Hey, look, there's our friends from California that we don't know.
Right.
They show up here. That's nice. And look,
what?
There's Todd in
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn.
Very nice.
Scott Levine says Moses in 2020.
Moses, I'm voting for Moses. And my bird is singing. Shelley Solomon.
Here's the thing. When Moses was confronted, every time Moses is confronted, he falls on his face. He listens.
Yeah.
He says, okay, I'm willing to look. If I did something wrong, I'm going to own it.
Teach me.
I want to be part of the solution. Really. How wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good leader.
Yeah, it's good.
The daughters, the 5 daughters.
Sisters. One other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the daddy's name. Zelophehad. It's a strange name. It's a compound name. The shadow of fear. So there's something unfinished in Zelophehad too that his daughters can supply. He's rich, but he's got some fear in his name. And his daughters step up, man. Come on, Daddy.
Me too.
Yeah. All right, let's make the
healing prayer.
Healing.
We've got a lot of people to pray for, and I know there are people in your hearts. I'll read the names of the people Finn Naylor and Artie Silverblatt and Wanda Stutz-Rhine, Debbie Dwyer, Meredith Pritchard, Elaine Thornton, Rick Pack, and also our friend Corinne. She should feel better. Gail Rock, Huey Powell, Specialist Evan Richards, Morris Tamsky, who I know is doing better, Carrie Schulman, Caroline Harvath, Susan Schroeder, Ron Fagerstrom, Colby Trotter. Special prayers for Bob Gershon. He should heal. I know he had many bypasses, and sending out lots of love and healing to Bob. Strength for his family. To Lois Canefield, I know her son and daughter are with her in California. And I'd like to offer, of course, we're offering prayers to all the people with COVID-19, all the people who have other diseases right now. It's so difficult to negotiate. But I would like to offer a special prayer for a young woman named Meredith. I ask you to hold Meredith in your hearts. Please, please, please let Meredith heal. Let her surprise the doctors and get everything she needs back. Healing prayers for you, Meredith. I'm sending them there to Barnes. For Cher DeLoon, you see on the chat. And yes, God, I know you're praying for your friend Bob. Hope he has a refuah shleima. He comes out better, stronger on the other side of the surgery. So for all the people you hold in your hearts, the people we've named, let's offer this mission to her.
רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, for the healing of the spirit, Jane, healing of the body,
Arlene Melser.
For those we know, for those we don't know, for those we know, for those we don't know. On my right, the angel Michael. On my left, the angel Gabriel. In front of me, the angel Uriel, Uriel, Uriel. Behind me, the angel Raphael, Raphael. Above my head, Shekhinah Teil. Michael, who is like God, Gabriel, God is my strength. Uriel, God is my light. Raphael, God is my healer. Above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head, Shekhinah Teil. Baruch atah Adonai.
Oh, special prayer for Jack.
Baruch atah Adonai.
For Jack O'Glander.
For Liz.
For Liz.
Rofei HaCholim, blessed are you, great healer. Amen. Amen. For those we know, for those we don't know.
For those we've named, those we're holding in our hearts. May our love surround all of them. And prayers for refuah shleima, complete healing. Amen. And we turn towards Jerusalem, wherever you are. Face east a little bit, figure out where is east. Usually it's easy in St. Louis. I think we're actually facing east.
We are.
Aleinu l'shabbat l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula liotzer b'reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kachem, ve'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, ve'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, We are now in the 3 weeks. The 17th of Tammuz begins the 3 weeks that take us to Tisha B'Av. These are traditionally 3 weeks of mourning that lead us to the saddest day of the Jewish year, but also the day that the Messiah is supposed to be born. So even out of destruction, even out of suffering, even out of our grief, we are challenged to believe that some life will come, some love, and maybe hope. So we turn to the words of the Kaddish, and we have lots of people to say Kaddish for before we conclude. And let's see, most recently we have the deaths of Rich Amaker and Lil Perletsky, Holocaust survivor. His funeral will be tomorrow. Gary Krugman, a Marine. Jerome Schneider, Sidney Feiner, Kent Huffman, Norman Roth, Charlotte Futterman, Jan Nelson, Marvin Kotsky, Fran Hyman, Molly Froelikstein, Gil Nussbaum, Bonnie Levins, Aaliyah Light, Lou Osheroff, and Jackie Poltman, John Holtzman, Claire Hyman, Tom Trieger, Pat Dewey, Betty Oberman, Suzanne Glazer, Joe Sherman, Jude Eli Anton McCarty, Carol Gerstein and Sherman Stiefelman, Rita Balk, Sandy Jaffe, Ralph Schauer, Louise Mandel, George Lamb, of course we just passed that website. And then those who have a yard site at this time.
And Ronnie Axel.
Oh, Ron Waxman. It's in this band, thank you. Shirley Chackus has a yard site at this time. Edna Lander. Bob Recht. And let's see. Edward Vandervelde, Jack Zimmerman, Kanaya, Bynum, Bracha and Yahid's dad, and David Yaffe, Ryan's dad, Yaakov Agatsky, and for all the people that we hold in our hearts, we say the words of the Kaddish, words that don't mention death, words that are meant to lift us up out of our grief that is always measured by how much we have loved. That's why it hurts so much. Challenges us to make space beyond our grief so that to honor our loved ones we can live more fully, love more fiercely. So we say together, Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah. V'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayachon v'yomachon v'chayedachon be'Yisrael. V'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam olam maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitcholam v'yitnaseh. V'yitolei v'yitolal shmei l'kudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nachamata da'amiran v'yalma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'rumavu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru.
Amen. V'imru, v'imru, v'imru. Amen. V'imru, v'imru, v'imru. V'imru, v'imru, v'imru. Amen. V'imru, v'imru, v'imru.
So we pray that this is a Shabbat Shalom for all of you, that there are truly moments of peace for you as we all figure out ways that we are going to go forward and try to heal that broken vav. I had the children kind of be a vav this morning, be the vav, connect the heavens and the earth and pull them together and heal the broken vav and the broken heart of the world. We'll be back tonight at 8 o'clock for Havdalah, but we really appreciate everyone joining and worshiping and learning and singing and building hope back in these challenging times, connecting even in isolation. So let's sing our way out. Sounds like a dono.
Dono lama shema la beterem ko tzilivra leitnasa chetzo kol azamele shemonikra anana 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 ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אננה 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 והוא אחד ואין שני להמשיך לו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכליל ולא העוז והמשרה אננה והוא אלי וחגולי וצוחב לי בעת צרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנקוסי ביום הקרב na 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 na. Na 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 na. Yado afkirufi beiti shavi'ira veimruchi gviati Adonai li melovira. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Into your hands I entrust my spirit. Time that I lie down, the time that I rise up. With my spirit, my body too. God is with me, I shall not fear. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Leave you with a blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you safe. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light of God's love continue to grow and show you light, that you may share it with others. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yaseh lecha shalom. May all that is good and high and holy give you shalom, give you peace, and let us all work to heal that broken love so that we surely can see more peace and justice in our time. Amen. And Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.